To my younger self.
To my younger self.
To my younger self.
To my younger self.
To my younger.
Hello. Good morning. How is everybody doing today? It is a wonderful Tuesday morning, as always, from out of New York. We bring you To My Younger Self, where we tell stories from the past that will propel us into the future. My name is Zoe Baraka. As always, thank you so much for joining us. Do me a great favor. I want you to go into the comment section, as always, say good morning to me in your local dialect. Good morning, Francisca. Say good morning to me in your local dialect. Tell me where you're watching us from. As long as you're African, wherever you are in the diaspora, we want to hear from you. We want to hear from you in your mother tongue. Today, we present to you Author's Corner on To My Younger Self. This is us garnering and curating authors and storytellers from, what should I say? This is the written word. So they could come and talk to us about their gifts and their talent. Thank you so much for joining us. Good morning, Beverly. Good morning, producer Big Sis Elsie. It is so good to see you. Good morning, Jane. Thank you for watching us all the way from London. We appreciate you. Say good morning to us. Good morning, Francisca. I was about to say Maryland, but yes, good morning, Maryland. Thank you for joining us, all of you. Before we go into the greetings, can we go and do one little thing? I want us to just take a little message from our sponsor of the month, the Young Shimmigrant series, and we will be back. We'll be right back.
I am brave. I will be kind. And I will dream big. So when I say Sasha, say
America.
Sasha,
America.
Sasha,
America.
And that is me doing the head bob and the dancing. Oh, all right, we are back. We say a big thank you to Marge and her team. Thank you for sponsoring us for the month of why am I going back in the months? The month of April. We are so grateful to the Young Shimmigrant and also to Humanity Chats. God bless you for being who you are. Listen, where are you watching us from? Barka da zuwa to you. Sanunku da zuwa. Yayade kakwana lafia. I hope you're doing well. I just greeted you in the oldest language in the world, the Hausa dialect. Thank you for joining us. Yajare, if you speak Mampruli, I just greeted you. Kotonga mohelang to you. Indina, Wezo, Leke, Efwa. I am so glad you're here. I greeted you in the Ever language. If you are from the Volta region, I greet you. Yaken tuma fudua wela tuma awela. I am greeting you in the Kusal dialect. La awane if you speak Frafra. Sawubona ni to you if you speak Zulu. I love the Zulu language. Oleoja to you if you speak Luganda and you are from Uganda. I am greeting you. Bella to you. Ibio Kibari to you if you speak Moshi and you are like me and you're from Burkina Faso. I greet you. God bless you. Tell your ten. I remember when in JSS, my God teacher used to say, tell your ten. We would have to respond, Inyojoba, well, we're not gonna go there. I'm not showing my ignorance today. Ekaro to you, Ekabo. If you speak Yoruba, I greet you. I greet you, all of our people in Nigeria. Thank you for joining us. Nagadev to you. If you speak Wolof and you are in Senegal, I am not awake today. Can you give me some coffee, somebody? Jambo, habari gani? Karibu sana to you. I just greeted you in Swahili. Kotolii to you. If you are Fulani and you speak for Foldi, I am greeting you. I am greeting you. Bonjour to you, to all of our French-speaking friends and storytellers. Buongiorno to you. Bom dia to you if you speak Portuguese. Buenos dias to our Spanish-speaking friends. And of course, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is To My Younger Self. And of course, the show today is Author's Corner. I am so excited to introduce this amazing author to you. First of all, can I show you something? Look at the way this book, look at that name right there. I love seeing that name, E.J. Offori-Deku. You know why? Because I love J.R.R. Tolkien. And just seeing the initials just gives me a kick. I'm just like, woo, this woman is a powerhouse all by herself. And this little book, you know, she describes it as a little book of poetry, but man, the words in here, I started the first page and I just went, the woman can write. Her poetry is poignant, it is pithy, it is straight to the point. She is not missing a beat. Let me introduce to you a woman I have decided to call EJOD because, you know, why not to you? Bear with me one moment. I'm going to read it in her own words. E.J. Offori-Deku, known in regular life as Jane Deku, is a poet and the author of And So She Wrote. I love that title. What she likes to call a little book of poetry. A little book? Is she serious right now? Born and raised in the West African country of Ghana. Woo! If you're from Ghana, can you please, raise up a flag for Ghana? Until age 18, she attended Achimota and Ola secondary schools. She has a BA in management from Webster University, Vienna campus. She subsequently studied human resource management at Humber College in Ontario, Canada. She has studied, lived, and worked in Ghana, Austria, Angola, Canada, and the US of A. Let me tell you, Africans, we are just international, okay? We don't play at all. Her interests include traveling to and discovering new places, bringing seemingly unconnected people together, and isn't that what we're doing today on To My Younger Self? And exploring the creative world through written and visual stories. Jane draws her inspiration for poetry from everyday conversations, observing people and nature, and personal life experiences. She is married with 2 teenagers. Ooh, is that time of life and let me read a little bit about And So She Wrote, the book. And So She Wrote is a collection of poetry written and curated by the author. She covers a myriad of topics, including grief, love, nature, the environment, empowerment, and relationships. That's my favorite part of the book. She writes so well about that too. It is an easy, what is going on with me today, people? Relatable read. If you read a poem and your reaction is laughter, tears, or acknowledgement, then the author believes her job is done. I dare say her job truly is done. Guys, like we always do in the fashion of To My Younger Self and the Author's Corner, please, please, please help me give EJOD a warm, warm, warm welcome to the show. EJOD.
Good morning, Zoe. Good morning.
How are you?
I am well. I'm well. How are you?
I am doing very well. My tongue wouldn't roll out properly today. I don't know what's going on. I was mixing up my words. Something going on with me today, but
Don't worry. Don't worry at all.
I am so glad you are here. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm happy to be on the show. Thank you so much for inviting me.
You are most welcome. Listen.
Yeah.
This book. So as you can see, or as everyone can tell, I love books, and I have a love-hate relationship with paper books because I mistreat them. And the more I mistreat a paper book, it means I love it. Does that even make sense?
I totally agree with you because it means you're reading it.
Yes, and I have like manhandled this book so much in the last week and a half or so. But can we start off this conversation? And I'm going to ask you, when I saw the title, And So She Wrote, it sounded to me as though it was a story that was being told. And then at the very tail end, you had a cheeky answer like, well, to answer your question, and so she wrote. And I literally like imagined myself or caught myself doing the head bob, like yada, 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 yada. And so she wrote. So how did you get there? How did you get to this title? Talk to me.
I can't even remember how I got to it, but I've always liked writing. I've always liked the English language. I've always liked reading. And somewhere along the line, when I was writing all these different poems, this came to mind. These poems are coming to me. So what am I doing with them? I'm putting them down on paper. So at the end of the day, and so I wrote, right? So I thought I would put that in there as you say, at the very end to kind of answer the question, why are you doing all of these things? And if you read that particular poem, it'll
You
tell
will
you.
understand, yes.
You'll understand.
And we're going to get there at the very tail end, and we're going to answer that question. And
Yes.
so she wrote. I think now on, every time you tell people the title of the book, you have to bob your head.
Pop my head up.
And
I have to practice the head bopping thing.
Yes. And I've been trying for years now. I have not got it. So we're in good company.
No worries at all.
So this book, right, you have it in two different categories or headings. And okay, so during the dry run, guys, I had a hard time saying this word, catharsis. For some reason, my tongue just kept not saying it right. But so you have catharsis, and then you have Feed My Soul, right?
Yes.
So we're going to take a few poems from catharsis, catharsis. Let's keep saying that word until
it's perfect. Catharsis, yes.
Catharsis.
Get it out of your system.
Yes. So in catharsis, the first thing that hit me, oh my God, that hit me so bad. And the reason being that I personally have lived in silence for such a long time. That when I read it, I said, this woman, does she know me? I don't like that. And guys, please, I want you to go into the comment section, even if you don't have the book yet. First, I want you to go on Book Nook, and I want you to go on Book Nook first, and then maybe Amazon if you can't get to Book Nook. And everywhere books are sold, please find this book so that even after we're done with the show, you can take your time, grab your cup of tea or coffee, because I know Jane loves coffee and I love tea. So we are like yin and yang over here. And then like really do a deep dive. You will see there's so many things that hit you. But let me read the first poem out of here. Actually, Jane, can you read it about silence? It's on page 3.
Okay, let me go to page 3. And it's a very short one.
Yes, very short.
Yes. The silence. It hears me and rises up to meet me in that place between thought and speech. Shh, it says, and places a knowing finger on my lips.
I gotta
ask you a question.
Yes, go ahead.
What was it about this poem that struck you so much? So that it being such a short poem, first of all.
So over the course of my life, especially, so I've lived in a noisy house all my life, right? Everywhere, especially in Ghana, there was always people. Not just me, my sisters. It wasn't a nuclear family. It was me, sisters, brothers, 15 different cousins and uncles and everybody else coming in and out. It was always noisy. And our home is right by a major road in Ghana. So it doesn't matter what time of day, there's always a car zooming by, the Trotsky's and the shouting, achimota, achimota, cry, cry. You know, it's noisy.
Yeah.
I come to America, and for about 4, 5, actually 6 years, it's dead silence. You can hear a pin drop. And for the most part, a lot of people know if you're an artist, most people battle that thing called depression a lot. And for most part, I used to think I was depressed because I would just sit in the silence and wonder, where is the noise? It is so silent.
Yes.
You don't even hear kids like playing in the summertime. And I'm going crazy out of my mind now. In hindsight, I know that this is how God needed me to be in silence in order to bring me out of something.
Yeah.
But I didn't appreciate it for a long time. I hated the silence so much.
Yeah.
So reading this, you know, I used to sit in my couch and go, do you hear me? I would just speak just to hear myself speak.
Yeah.
So when I read the silence, it hears me. I'm like, perhaps it did hear me. It was just cheeky and didn't want to respond to me or something. Nobody responded.
Yeah.
And so that's why it did that to me. You know,
Yeah.
it just gave me a catharsis. It
Wow.
jarred something in my brain. I'm like, I mean, now I embrace the silence. Matter of fact, when there's too many people in my house, I'm ready for them to get out, right? After 2 hours, I'm like, why y'all still here? Get out. Like, I need this space.
I'm with you. I'm with you. But you know that the power of poetry is that it affects people in different ways. And the way that it's written, for example, the place that I came from when I wrote this poem is totally different from what you have just explained to me.
Tell me. Wow.
For me, it's more of you know, when sometimes you want to say something, right? And perhaps you really know that you really shouldn't say it. So for me, that's the angle from which I came. It was like, it's silent. You're not saying anything about that particular topic. The thought comes to you and you're like, should I say it? Should I not? And then something tells you, and I'm using the silence as the thing, you know, don't say it. Just, you know, keep quiet. Yes.
Wow.
So that was my approach to this. But listening to your interpretation is very interesting to me. And that's what I like about poetry. And that's what kind of drives me to share my poetry, because the way I'm looking at it is not necessarily the way somebody else will interpret it, or, you know, what they will get from it is totally different from what I intended. And it fascinates me when I'm having conversations with people who've read the poems and they tell me what their aspects, you know, how they approached it or what they saw or what they got from it.
Wow. That's incredible. See, like, it's like two different, ridiculously different points of view. And
Yes.
you are right. When you say that, when someone has a different experience from the words that you actually thought you were penning down, then your job is done. So, you know, we just proved that, guys. She really did put some back into that pen when she wrote this poem. The other one that I really wanted to talk about is on page 9. And we're going together. I love doing Author's Corner because we get to flip the pages together. We're not trying to be all fancy or anything. It's a book. You can flip it and hear it flip. Okay, guys? So on page 9, it's Brothers Lost.
Yes.
And being someone who has lost her mother, this, I don't know, I cry a lot. I'm like a child most days. I just cry a lot. And producer Elsie would tell you, Bix is like, I cry a lot. Sometimes I think she wants to really tell me, shut up, you cry too much. But I read this and then I cried. It gave me another avenue to grieve my mother, even though you were writing about your brother or somebody's brother. And now I don't know if you wrote about your brother. But I was just, let me read this. My brother has lost yet another brother. That confused me so much. A
Mm.
little bit, because I was like, whose brother has lost whose brother? Her brother lost a brother?
Mm.
So she lost a brother? I just had so many questions, right? And that's how my brain works.
Yeah.
My brother has lost a brother, and I weep for him. I weep not for the brothers lost, although the dull ache of their untimely departure has never left me, and from time to time, tears gather and fall. But today my heart is heavy for the one left behind to mourn, my brother who has lost yet another brother and weeps to cleanse his soul. Why did you write this?
I wrote this for my brother.
Mm.
I'm the last of 5 children. I have an older sister, and then there were 3 boys in between, and then me. And about 20 odd years ago, we lost the 2 that come before me within a space of a year and a half.
Oh my God.
So now I have one older brother left, the one that comes right after my sister. And we had a cousin who was very close. He was very close to. And unfortunately, we lost him as well.
Oh.
So I was feeling for my brother, who had already lost 2 siblings, 2 brothers, and then another brother who was not, our brother by, not our parents' child, but, his brother.
Yeah.
And I was feeling for him because, put yourself in that situation where, that's pretty much what it was.
Yeah, and the words can't even find way to come out. And when I read this, first I thought about my brother.
Mhm.
That's what it made me do, because we get so wrapped up in our own grief that it suddenly dawned on me, the boy lost his mother too.
Mm.
And yes, I felt his grief, but not as much as I felt mine.
Mm.
And the other thing, and the reason why I really also liked this poem, is that you gave voice to a man's heart, because men normally don't like to speak about their grief.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, God has given women that spirit and power to be able to take that grief and put it either into tears, into words, or sometimes even anger, because we release our feelings
Emotions.
deeper and faster. And so I imagined if your brother or your cousin read this, he might even say, this is how I feel. I just can't put it into words.
Yeah.
And so that's what I thought about it.
Yeah.
It gives me, and so again, I thought, yes, the title of the book is And So She Wrote, but for this particular part, it might have been And So He Wrote. There's something in this book for everyone. It's not a girl's book.
No,
It's
no,
a
no.
book for humanity. It's a book for everybody. And that's why I love it, and guys, I want you to take part in this conversation. What do you think about the poem we just wrote? For those of you who have the book, what did you think when you read this particular part, Brothers Lost? It had so many hitting moments. Brothers lost, where they're lost in arms. It's so many things going on underneath the surface. The other part I wanted to read, and it's funny how you write this. You write about this really heavy thing, and the very next page, you write Meat Pie and Memories. And then I bust out laughing, right?
Was it the title that got you laughing?
I think the title got me laughing. I said, "Ooh, Meat Pie, I remember that so well. I can't get it in this country, America." So, can you please read that for us? Meat Pie and Memories.
Meat Pie and Memories. An innocuous observation about acts from over a decade ago, and I am reduced to a sniveling 10-year-old. Why this emotion? Is it because I am leaving yet again? And as always, Fear that I may come back and not meet them the way I left them? Or is it regret that I may have offended and not even have known it? Is it pain at the knowledge that she has a way of cutting you down to size with her words? I love her, but sometimes it is hard because she can so casually inflict pain and carry on with her day. And all I wanted was to take the meat pie with me.
Jane, EJOD, it sounds to me as I read this that you were talking about a very deep pain that surrounded simple meat pie. You know, it sounded to me as though you were really talking about an event that happened. But it also
Yeah.
sounded to me as though you were leaving to travel. And much like me, I'm always afraid that when I get back home, everything would have changed and I wouldn't recognize anybody anymore. And they wouldn't recognize me. What are you writing about? And there's so many deep things going on under the guise of meat pie.
Well, you know, it's never about the meat pie, right?
It really isn't. That's what I'm saying. I know you just wanted to take the meat pie with you, but what really happened?
Well, without going into too much detail, it's more about the relationship with my mother.
I figured that.
Yeah, it was a casual conversation. You know, I'd had my breakfast, or no, I didn't have my breakfast. I was going somewhere, and I grabbed a meat pie, which I should have been having for breakfast, and I said, "Oh, I'll just take it with me." And then out of nowhere, there was a conversation about something that had happened some years beforehand to do with, you know, just taking a snack along when you're traveling. And it just brought back all these memories. And so I associated the meat pie with that memory, you know, the thought that I wanted to take this meat pie with me, and the conversation that it sparked, which came out of left field for me. And so, of course, what do I do with it? I write it down because that's what I do.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, it reminds me of when you know, sometimes you're just having the simplest of conversations, but then suddenly you bring up all these. Remember that time when you stepped on my toe and then you did this and that, and then it, especially between married people, right? It could be the simplest of, did you wash the dishes? And it becomes like, remember that time you looked at that girl in this way?
It's never about the dishes, right?
It's really never about the dishes. It becomes a whole different conversation. And you're like, what? How did we get here?
I just wanted to know if you wash the dishes.
And so again, this is the beauty of poetry that I read it a couple of times. And I'm like, what is she going on about? Is it meat pie? There's an emotion attached to meat pie. What is going on here?
Yeah.
And I love the way you write. I really, 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 really do. And thank you for writing that and for sharing this part of the meat pie memories. And when your mother read it, because I know your mom read this, what did she think?
She did not refer to this one. She told me which one was her favorite.
Oh, so which one was her favorite? Now I'm curious.
My mom's favorite is Flo.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Can you?
And her name is Florence. Her name is Florence, and we call her Mama Flo.
Oh.
Actually, let me say, my husband started calling her Mama Flo.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Mothers never ever, you know, it's like when someone visits the house and they give you money.
Yeah.
Somehow your mom takes the money. And when you go to ask them about it, they say, what money? Like, did you eat this morning? You ate this morning. You slept in a bed that you didn't pay for. They give you all these reasons why the money
There
is
you
not an
go.
issue. So I get it that she would not even refer to this at all. But mom, if you're watching, we honor you. And we're
Yes.
so grateful for the gift of EJOD. I just love calling her EJOD. I think I'm just going to call you that from now on.
Okay.
The other one that I wanted us to discuss, and this is purely selfish because honestly, it's just the way to say the word. I just want to say the word.
Let
On
me go
page
look for it.
14, infinitesimal. It sounds,
Infinitesimal.
can you
Oh,
can you say that again? Infinitesimal.
infinitesimal.
Infinitesimal. There we go.
Well, that's how I say it. I mean, I hope that's
You
right.
know what? I said it so many different ways because I
Yeah.
was trying to get it. Infinitesimal.
There you go.
Infinitesimal.
Infinitesimal.
Infinitesimal. So I just kept going and then I was like, say it 5 times. Infinitesimal.
Really fast.
And then, I just love having fun like that. So
Yeah.
anyway, I'm going to read that and then we're going to probably talk a little bit about it. Like I said, this one, I just kind of wanted to bring it up because I love the word infinitesimal. First of all,
Okay.
what does it mean?
Well, it just means tiny, minuscule, like drop, drop, drip, 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 very small.
Small things. Tiny,
increments.
itty
Yes,
bitty
tiny
things.
things.
Okay.
Yes.
So it says, the slow drip of insidiousness. Man, what's a brofo? The woman can write. For those of you who don't speak Chi, I just meant she speaks English. Of control gone amok. First, they take your time and make it theirs, all the while telling you to be grateful for the privilege. They try to strip you of what makes you unique. Opinions are not welcome unless they jive with the Kool-Aid being served at the forced party. Inefficiencies abound like waters cascading from the falls that drown you in hours spent in busyness. For this, I spent years educating myself. I almost said, Jesus. That's how I read that.
Oh, goodness.
Insidiousness, the atmosphere of distrust that permeates the very air. Relationships are like treading on eggs. This part I was like, what? She just switched it again. Lest a viper should arise from the broken shells and bare its fangs in a hissy fit before they sink in and release their slow poison, paralyzing you into submission until a smallest thing galvanizes you into action. You remember who you truly are, and finally, you free yourself. Ay, ay, ay. And when the confetti went up, I love authors that after you read them, you want to add more to it and like do a jump and a dance and do something. So when I started to read this in the beginning, where it says first they take your time and make it theirs, I thought she's probably talking about babies because babies do that. Did you think about that? Has anyone
No.
told? Okay, it looks like Zoe is crazy. Crazy. This child is crazy.
No.
But so what made you want to go into this? Because now, as after I read it about 2 times, I knew you were talking about something entirely. This is my Jamaican side coming out. Maybe I was born in Jamaica and I did something. And I thought she's talking about, it could be race because we have that. It could be the inefficiencies between friends. It could be, again, a household situation, man versus woman. Do you see where you're going with this? Where were you going with this? Why did you write this one? Because I have so many things going on here.
You have so many things that are totally not what I was
That
thinking.
is crazy. I'd be going weird, like far.
Far.
Wow.
If you've ever been in a work situation,
Work. There we go. Okay.
And this is not a place that I currently am at, to be clear. But if you've ever been in a situation, let me just stick with a situation where you feel, first of all, that you are not valued, or um, your talents or your experiences are not valued, where things are so rigid that even having an opinion about something is considered anarchy,
Oh my Lord.
you know,
About it.
then you'll understand this poem.
Right.
And it's a drip, drip, drip. It's like you're there and it's like, it's a small thing and you're like, oh, okay, let it pass. Another small thing, and you're, "Oh, okay, let it pass. Another small thing, another small thing, another small thing. And then one day there's just that one little small thing too much. That just makes you realize, look, I don't need to be here. I need to get myself out of this situation. And this could apply to any situation that is not good for you.
Wow.
So that's where the infinitesimal comes in. Now, every time I say that word, I'm going to laugh because of it.
Because of, I love that. And again, it brings me to that point. You're so right. When it's just, someone could do all of the big things, and then it's that little thing. Why did you not cap the toothpaste? Suddenly, suddenly you're packing your bags and going, I'm leaving. I'm going
Zoe,
back.
am I sensing a theme here? Am I sensing a theme here?
There is
You're right.
absolutely no theme. I just kind of think that, especially within the marriage confines, sometimes it's like the weirdest, littlest things that blows up, and it becomes and you wonder, how did we get here? What is going on? It's toothpaste. Again, infinitesimal. It's like the tiniest little thing that blows up and becomes, and in all human relationships that happens. And I know I had that with my mom a lot. So, we just had a very rough tumble thing going. So thank you for writing that. The other book part, I think you should read this.
Okay. Which one is it?
I never thought about a poet as an ostrich before. I never did.
Ostrich.
Yes.
Let's see. What page was that? Let me go find
39.
39. You're picking some interesting ones.
After this, I'm going to ask you, what other ones were people picking? Because now I feel like I'm the weird one out. I want to belong.
Oh, let me see here. You know what? I'm using the book that I got as the proof. And there was a couple of, let's see, for me, it's page 32.
Oh, so it's probably 32. It's just the way I read it. I see a 3 and something that looks like a 9, but maybe it's a 2. You're right.
Okay.
I think it's a 2.
All right, page 32. The ostrich. No longer can the ostrich stick her head in the sand, pretending the storm around her does not exist. She must raise up her magnificent head, stick out her neck, spread out her wings, and face the whirlwind.
Wow. Wow. And then, guys, if you have the book, you will see at the very bottom, Jane has this. The poet is aware of the myth that ostriches bury their heads in the sand to avoid predators. They are actually turning their egg in the nests that they dig in the sand. I never knew that. I really never knew that. So you're a poet. Did you identify with this?
Yes, because let's just go back to the myth or the idea that, you're sticking your head in the sand. They say that you're sticking the head in the sand. You're not seeing what's going on around you. You're avoiding the issue or whatever it is. So I wanted to address that. But then I wanted to give the information that that's not really what the ostrich is doing. You know what I mean? So that's why I have that little note there. But we the idea of us people, human beings, avoiding issues by, not dealing with it or pushing it off and all of that it's a true thing. It's a fact. We all do it.
Mm,
And so this was actually kind of a message to myself, don't push things off.
mm,
Face the issues. Just go full force ahead and handle it. And for somebody like me, it's not my nature to do stuff. I don't go head on into things. I kind of think things through. I suffer a little bit from, what do they call it? Analysis paralysis.
oh, wow.
Think about it and think about it. I'll procrastinate and I want it to be just so and just right. And life is not like that.
Right.
You'll never do anything if you do that.
Mm,
And I had to tell myself, look, just get your head out of the sand and just face it. So that's a message to myself and anyone else who needs that, or who needs to hear that.
wow. And so she wrote. She
And so
got
I
her
wrote.
head out of the sand, and so she wrote.
And
But see,
she sure did.
yes, she sure did. See, when I read this,
Mhm.
I identified with it, but maybe in a little bit of a different way.
Mhm.
I find that for those that write and creatives in general,
Mhm.
before they actually embark on that huge task, there is that hibernation period
Mhm.
where, at least for me, when an idea strikes, I sit with it and mull it over and over and imagine it in my brain for, to my younger self, probably took about 3 years to get on paper.
Mhm.
Right? I mull over it and mull and then think and like hibernation. And that's how I identified with the ostrich. So during that time, it sounds like you're doing nothing. It's
Mhm.
like people are like, what are you doing? But you're like static, you're just standing there, you're doing nothing. But your brain is going though. And the ostrich, people think they're trying to avoid predators, but they're turning their eggs
Mhm.
for getting ready to either unearth them, or I don't know how they give birth. Can someone Google that for us?
Yeah.
And so that's how I thought about it. And then when you're finally ready, or at least for me, when I'm finally ready and I put my pen on paper or the idea on paper, I run like there was a whirlwind chasing me. And I thought about an ostrich running, really. And I'm like, have you seen those things run?
Stay out of their way, right?
Yes. And I never knew that part, that there's a thing about ostriches where they just dig their heads in the sand and stay there for a while. So that's how I identified with it. And I said, maybe I am an ostrich. I don't know.
Wow. See, I love this. I just love this because, like I said before, that was not my intention. That's not the way I looked at it. But see how you saw it.
Yeah.
You know.
And you wrote it for me. Honestly, I think, quite honestly, this is one that I truly, absolutely enjoy. Really. And we're going to come back real quick and talk about one of the three double or is it triple one that I also absolutely enjoyed. But before we do that, let us take a message from our sponsor of the month, and then we will greet a few people because I see a lot of people are here today, and we acknowledge all of you. We're going to take a message first from Book Nuke for sponsoring Author's Corner, and then we're going to take a message from the Young Immigrant Series, our auspicious sponsor, and we will be right back.
I am brave. I am brave. I will be kind. I will be kind. And I will dream big.
Welcome back, and thank you so much to our sponsors, both Book Nook and the Young Immigrant Series. We are so thankful to you guys. Thank you for being our supporters and the people that you believe in us, and you just pour not only your time, your skills, but also money into us. We are very grateful for that. Let me greet a few people. I'm so excited to go into this part, but let's see who we have here. Della, I see you. It is so good to see you. She says, nice work, Jane. Oh, nice work, EJOD. That's what I want to say. Audrey. Audrey is a professor, and she, you are a crazy girl. I like the way you just wrote that and just laughed out loud. She just We are so thankful that you're here, Audrey. God bless you. Who else is here? Nito, I see you. Thank you so much. She says, yes, Amenovi. What does Amenovi mean again? I think someone told me that one time and I forgot. That is not good. Ooh, Grandma is here. Grandma is the forever grandma of To My Younger Self. She is a grandma of storytelling. Mama Emilia, we greet you. We thank you for being here. Thank you for spending your afternoon with us all the way from Ghana. Felicia Adadevo, I see you. Thank you for joining us on YouTube. God bless you. Who else is here? Doris is watching us all the way from Northern Ghana. She says, Poetry Jamaica. I know, right? I know what was going on with my mouth at that time. That was crazy. Irene, thank you for joining us on YouTube. We see you. She says, good morning. Jane, so proud to have a cousin like you. Well done. Greetings from Accra. Oh, I love that. That sounds like a title of a show I would definitely work on. Greetings from Accra.
There you go.
I know, right? Oh, Pastor Teresa, thank you so much for watching us. I love this woman. I really, really do. And she makes time. She is, I think, in CST time, but she wakes up an hour early just for us. God bless you. And she prays a lot for us too. So we acknowledge you, Mother General. I call her Mother General. I'll tell you the story one day. Francisca Ado, I see you. Who else is here? Guys, I see all of you, but I can't. The comments are crazy today. Who else is here? Ooh, Sumaya is here. Don't you wear clothes? What do you mean by that? Oh, when we were talking about our mother and the money situation, that's what don't you wear clothes. And Sumaya is my blood sister, so she knew what that story was all about. Who else is here? Amma, did I say hello to Amma? Maybe I did. I don't remember. Something's going on today. Something's going on. I'm trying to find someone we haven't said hello to. Besaili Jolie, I hope I said your name right. The mark of a true artist. I know when they write something and then you go crazy with it, that's the mark of a true artist. And EJOD really, really did that. Who else is here? I love EJOD's demeanor, right? There's just regalness about her. She's just sitting. I imagine her on a throne, just like chilling, right? Going, yeah, I wrote that.
Oh my goodness.
With my pen and my paper. Lady Abaketo under my dear friend and sister. I see you. It's a beautiful book. And so she wrote. Wow, that's another title right there.
Yes,
it's
indeed.
A beautiful book. And so she wrote it.
Oh, thank you.
I see you all the way from London. Thank you for watching us. Rachel Dodu, I see you. Thank you for watching us. Antoinette, thank you for watching us all the way from the Windy City. God bless you all. If I didn't mention your name, please, it is not intentional. It's just you guys love us and we love you so much. And it just, it goes by fast. Tutsi Dochi, I hope I said that right. Thank you for watching us and thank you for joining us. EKD Deku-san. Is that the husband or the son?
That's the husband.
I figured.
Yes. That's the man beside the woman.
Oh, we welcome you, sir. When I saw that, I just knew there's too much flair in this for it not to be the husband. And for everyone else who's joining us, we say thank you. We say thank you. We are grateful that you are here. EJOD, let's go back to this amazing book. I want us to talk a little bit about Blink.
Blink.
So she wrote blink, and then she wrote blink 2, not TWO, but TOO. And then she wrote blink again, back to back to back. Can you imagine that? And I just kept saying, oh, that's what she meant. Oh, that's what she meant. So here's what we're going to do. I'm
Okay.
going to take the first blink
Mm-hmm.
like that. And then you're going to take blink 2. And
Okay.
possibly we're going to share blink again. And then we're going to let the audience decide if they got it or not. Does that work?
Okay. That works.
Okay, so let's go. This is titled Blink. I have to leave, she said. Don't go. His eyes spoke the words, and she was confused. She hesitated, and an eternity passed between them. He blinked, and in that split second, she knew.
Blink 2. She knew in that split second that it had all been an elaborate lie she had told herself. She knew he did not want her to stay. He could not tell her to go. It was up to her to make the next move. But a split second is just that. And with a blink, her moment of clarity was shuttered. All right, she said, knowing even as the words left her lips that they should not.
I'll blink again. I'll never forgive myself, he thought. He knew at once, looking wordlessly at her face, knew he had not conveyed what he had meant to say, and yet something, perhaps pride, kept him from speaking what was truly on his mind. You go, EJ.
He did not want her to go, yet he could not ask her to stay. If you go, it will break me, he wanted to say. I cannot live without your smile. So instead of speaking, he blinked again.
Ay, 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 ay. This one, a love story that you are writing.
Yes,
Or a
love
heartbreak.
story.
I kept saying, oh no, what? Oh no, he's mean. Oh no, he's not. I just kept doing that. And I kept saying, I know someone like that. Oh no, I don't.
Well, that's the whole point, right? The thing
Right.
is, it's more about, I guess the bigger thing is about when you're having a conversation, it's about the things you say and the things you don't say. And then the assumptions people make based on what you say, or your facial expression, or is he saying this? Is this what she's trying to say? And instead of coming out and asking, what exactly are you saying? People will just kind of hang back and think, oh, he should know, or I should know. I should be able to read him, or she should be able to understand. All of those things that are left unsaid, and then people make decisions based on
those
their perspective.
Wow.
Where you could just get clarity by asking straight out. Well, sometimes you ask straight out and you still don't get clarity, but it's kind of that's kind of what it is. It's like somebody says something, the other one kind of, well, don't go, but they don't want to say it because they might sound like they're weak, or they're begging, or they're whatever it is. And then it's like, okay, this is what I'm assuming you're saying by your silence, or that's really what it is. And I had it in 3 parts because originally I wanted to kind of spread them out in the book and see if people would find them and see, oh, I thought I read something about blink. Let me go back and look. But in the end, I put them all together so that there would be the continuity. But I like putting little things in there like that and see if people can catch them, find something.
You know what? I think it worked that you put it back to back.
Mm-hmm.
And as I read this, I thought about my parents. And there's another poem that you wrote, and I want to say that's one of the love poems when it talks about a guy looking at a girl looking confused, or a woman looking at a girl looking confused because she's so full of life. I'll find it in a minute. But I thought about my parents and I said, this sounds like something that might go over like that with my parents, because my dad is very, very, very quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And most times it's probably in his head. And my mom, I'm imagining now, might have wanted to say some things or may have said some things, and my dad is looking at her like, okay.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
and it happens a lot, especially with men who tend to be quiet.
Yes.
They have a thing they want to say, but they never quite get there.
Yeah.
And it always happens with a woman who is all over the place. Right? Like, what are you saying? What are you saying? And he's like, first of all, you scare me. Second of all, I don't even know the words to use. Can you just stay? But he would never say it.
Say it.
So it was so many things going on, and I absolutely enjoyed it. It sounded like something I would like to put in movie form.
Oh, wow.
Just that little thing in like a 4 or 5 minute
short
love
film
story that, and I'm hoping that at the end it ends happy, but then you ended up like, so instead of speaking, he blinked again. And I'm like, where does this go? How many
There's
times
room for it
will
to
he
continue,
blink?
right? Who knows?
Oh, brother.
I love to leave a little bit of mystery.
I really do want them to stop blinking, just stop blinking.
Yeah.
So what are some of the ones that people have discussed with you? Because apparently I've picked the most unusual ones.
Well, there's one that I'll tell you what my husband's favorite one is.
Tell me, please.
Perhaps
And I want you to tell me what your kids' favorite ones are too after this.
Oh, wow. Well, let me start with my kids. I don't know that they haven't expressed any particular ones being their favorites, but every one that I read to them, they've loved.
Oh.
And I've actually had my daughter, who's also very creative, read some of them, and it's interesting when the way she reads them is I get a very different feel.
Wow.
Yes, it's interesting.
I wish she was here, and then we could hear her read one.
Maybe one day we'll have her
come in, walk by, and make a reading, do a reading, and then kind of just zoom back out. That would have been so cool.
But they're all very supportive of my writing. They read my poems when I offer them, and but let me my husband's favorite is Love Is Not.
What number is that?
So it's page 64.
Okay.
Yes. So I'll read it and then you'll know why it's his favorite.
Okay.
Love is not. Love is not the flitter-flutter of butterflies you get in the pit of your stomach every time he walks into the room. No, love is not. Love is not the slipper fitting on your foot the night after the ball you left in such a hurry because your carriage was just a pumpkin after all. No, love is not. Love is not the flowers that he sends to you at work on Valentine's Day, because that is what he is supposed to do, when he knows you don't really care for flowers anyway. No, love is not. Love is putting the kids to bed at night because he gets that you just need an hour of alone time. And so he does it. Love is filling your gas tank when you're running low, not because he thinks you can't, but just because he can. And so he does it. Love is dancing together when no one is watching, and it just feels good to hold on to each other. And so you do it. And love is knowing that supporting each other can mean being together in silence, because sometimes words don't quite say what you mean to express. Love is clipping his toenails because he asked, and it is not because he can't, but because you see it as an act of love, and so you do it. Love is putting air in the tire at 5 in the morning so that she can drive safely to work at 6:30. Love is doing for and being there and supporting one another because it's not always about being able to do it on your own. Sometimes it's about letting the other do for you because it makes them feel love and feel loved. And so you let them. Love. Love is. Love is not.
Ay, 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 ay. The woman makes me want to speak in tongues. I was just about to go into a whole, like, I say she did it. Ay.
So, can you guess why this is his favorite?
Well, because he gets it. I guess, and I'm not even going to guess it. I think this is the mark of a true man who understands what love is. That's my interpretation of this. Because I always say on the show, Hollywood has made us think that love is that instant knowing when you meet a person and, they lose their glass slipper and when it fits and, suddenly they become. Do you ever watch that show, Touched by an Angel?
No.
Oh, okay. So, but then a halo comes around them, and then a big voice from heaven will shine down on her, and then you will suddenly know, like, that's her. Go thou forth and be with her. Or, or for the woman, it's Hollywood makes us think it's the guy who has a six pack and is ripped and has $15 billion in the account, and your house looks some way. You know what I mean?
Right.
But this is the real deal about love. And as you were reading it, indeed, as I read it, for me, the mark of true love that I have seen in my life is one between my mom and my dad.
Mm-hmm.
I saw them bicker together.
Mm.
And I saw little things like when my dad is leaving home in a rush and has forgotten to comb his hair, and my mom is running after him
with a comb.
You're right, with the little comb, like comb your hair.
Right.
And after that, because my dad's hair, of course, we didn't understand that it was curly or it was like, in hair like that. So even though when you combed it, it would do that church again by the time the wind blows it.
You have to tap it back into shape.
Right. So my mom I remember seeing her putting a comb in his front pocket, like, don't lose this.
Yeah.
It seemed so simple and mundane, but she must have had to do it because she loved him.
Cared. Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It is my dad going to the market because, I don't know, I used to think, man, you're so stuck up. You don't even want to go to the market. I would think about my mom. But it's the fact that it's not that she couldn't go, like you said here.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fact that my dad didn't mind doing it.
Yeah.
Because he loves her.
Yeah.
And so I see why this is his favorite. Love is.
I'll tell you the line that he loves the most.
Please tell me.
It's the one about clipping his toenails. I usually get one of two reactions. Laughter from people, and then I get the, ooh, you clip his toenails?
I don't mind doing that at all. It's just, so it's the kingly part where he's treated like a king part that he likes. Okay, Mr. EKD, I see you.
Yeah. But yeah, that's one of the ones that people tend to ask about. That one, the one about being bold, the one about home, which kind of ties in with that meat pie one. It's about, like the one about home is more about those of us who live away from our families. And when we go to visit and we come back to the homes that we have chosen to live in, and the way we feel, things like that.
Wow.
But yeah, you've touched on a few that are A little surprising to me, but
Wow.
I love it. I love it because it gives me the chance to hear and see other people's views and perspectives on stuff that I wrote from a certain perspective, but
That's
didn't even think about in a different way. So it's
wow.
lovely. I love it.
Wow. You know, and we have not even scratched the second part of this poem yet, this book yet. That's the crazy part. And we're already on the hour mark. It's an hour and 4 minutes. Is that not
Wow,
crazy?
it's crazy.
So let's do this. Please get the book. Go on Amazon for those of you in North America. And I only say that because I want you to get the book. But if you are in Africa, anywhere in Africa, I want you to go on Book Nuke and get the book. You're going to get so much from it. And let's see if we can scratch a little surface on the other side of, Feed My Soul.
Okay.
Now I'm actually confused. You know, when you get something so good and you don't know where to begin, and I see that time is running, so I'm just so okay. But so let's go to 103, and I have to be honest, we have left so many things. I wrote, and I'll show you my evidence. I wrote so many things. These are all
Yes.
the topics I wanted to talk about.
Oh dear.
And we did not even scratch the surface of it. So obviously we're not Oh Lord. Okay, let's do this. We're gonna go to page 103, I believe. The owner of the something. Let me tell you, this one, I was bawling on the floor, going, this is so hilarious. It's got a very funny thing to it. It sounded like a song that, do you remember this? There was a rapper in Ghana, and I forget his name now. Guys, if you remember him, I'll do the tune, and if you remember his name, put it in the Philomena. Uluki fly. Oh, his name is Tic Tac. Tic Tac, Michi Jameboa. Oh, it sounded like something that he would put in his rap.
Is that right?
But let me read it to you. And now every one of our audience knows Zoe is a crazy woman. It's okay. It's okay. But I'm going to read it the way I thought it should be read. And I'm going to use my Ghanaian twang to it.
Indeed.
The owner of the something. They say the owner of the something is the chopper. Hey! And not the hungry man. And yet, the hungry man can sometimes benefit from the crumbs. On the periphery, see, this brofo, the periphery is, this English is not something that happens in regular Ghanaian parlance. So I suddenly feel very English again. On the periphery, he waits. And when the owner of the something partakes, the hungry man celebrates with him. They say, the owner of the something is the chopper. Yes, he may be the chopper, but the hungry man does not lie awake at night thinking of how to protect his something. Hey! It is too deep for me.
I love the way you read it.
That's how I read it. You know, I was sitting there going, this is how it should be read. The owner of the something. So I started thinking, so is this a man and the body of his woman? Because that is the owner of the something. Is it about food? I know you're thinking, why is this girl so crazy?
I love where your mind goes.
And then I thought about that very tail end where it talks about, but the hungry man does not lie awake at night. I thought about the book of Ecclesiastes, when King Solomon, crazy man that he was, would say things like, it's good to be poor because rich men are always trying to protect their stuff, so they never sleep, right? And so I thought about it in all those levels.
Yeah.
I thought about the Bible parable of Jesus and that woman who says, give me something to eat. And Jesus says, the owner, and I'm paraphrasing now, like the children of the house have not eaten. And why should I throw the bread to the dogs? and then the woman retorts back to Jesus and says, even the beggar, or something like that. So
Yeah.
it gave me like a biblical perspective to it. Like, for rich people, it means there is an onus on you to feed the person that doesn't have, which brings you to the point of why rich people do philanthropy. Because it is really not because they're good at heart, it is a principle of life. Do you see what I mean? So I had all those things. So after I did the laughing and everything, I went
Deep.
deeper, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, so I started daydreaming, right? I said, God, give me millions. I'll give away 10,000 in a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's a great perspective.
Right.
And it's true. But it was kind of a bit of an ironic thing as well to say, when we want to amass all these things, the more material things you have, the more you worry about keeping it, or how to keep it safe, or how to, all of that. Whereas the person who doesn't have all those material things is not really worrying. I mean, it's not like, oh, my car is going to get scratched, or, they're just, of course, they don't want to be in poverty, but their lives are not consumed by how to keep that material thing.
Wow.
So this was just kind of a tongue-in-cheek kind of poem that I wrote, but I see that you found some deepness in there, which I love.
Wow. No, I just found all kinds of things going on with there. And I love what Audrey said, because again, that's one of the first things, right? I said, I'm sure TikTok would say, Mr. Odi, Mr. Uchia. The owner of the something is the chopper. Oh, something like that. I thought it would be a cool rap. So anyway.
Well, I'm open to anything.
I know, right? Let's go to the other. So we're gonna do two more. I guarantee you and I think we're gonna go for a little longer than we normally do, because this is again a great book. I wanted to talk about politis, but you know what? I think let's go to You Ruin Silence, because it resonates with me back to the very first chapter. And yeah, so 194.
194.
Wait, is it 194?
No, there's no 194.
I think
it doesn't go that far.
Is it 134 maybe? Man, I think it's the way that it was the font that was used was confusing me, because I kept saying I'm already in the 90s, and I realized, no, girl, you're in the 20s.
124.
124. Okay, thank you so much for that. Let's see.
Okay.
124 is
You Ruin Silence.
Yes, and I think you should read that, because I just did the something part. So
You ruin silence with your incessant chatter, your endless questions, and just like that, you interrupt my solitude. You ruin silence when you enter my space with noisy, nosy interjections, poking away at my fences. You ruin silence, music blaring from your car radio as you speed down the quiet, tree-lined streets, head bopping to the latest from Mars. You ruin silence when you look at me with a wordless glance, thumbs twiddling, and I think, here it comes. I've been thinking. Ruin silence, demanding attention, asking me to speak when all I want to do is sleep. Speak to me, asking, attention, demanding, silence ruined by you.
oh my God, I love this. I really, really do. So
let me tell you, just
go ahead.
speaking of my children and poems, this poem was inspired by my son.
Oh.
We went shopping. So my daughter and I went into the store, and my husband and my son were in the car. This is a few years ago. And we got back into the car, and of course we are chattering excitedly. I don't know what we were talking about. And both of them were on their phones looking at some whatever it was. And then my son just kind of looks up and says, "You guys ruin silence." And in that moment, I'm like, oh wow, there's a poem in there somewhere.
That's
where that started from.
Wow. That's incredible. See, as I read this, so I have this friend who he's very quiet.
Mhm.
And I think every time I hang out with him, I legit really think this man must really be exasperated by me. And normally when I go to his home, and he lives in a very quiet place,
Mm.
but when you said, music blaring from your car radio, now I don't listen to the radio, but my music is always up to like 40, which is the highest, right?
Mhm.
And then I'm like bobbing my head. So when I zoom past,
Mhm.
I think sometimes he would just click the garage door open, not because he saw me, but because he heard the
He
sound
heard
of
you.
my music. He's just like, yeah, she's here.
Mhm.
And then sometimes you can legit see his eyes are saying, don't talk. Just don't talk.
Yeah.
And then I would say things like this, the stuff you said here.
Mhm.
I was thinking, right? And you already see his brain going, oh my God,
Here we go again.
Why can you not be quiet for a split second?
Yeah.
And because I know he's quiet, and I used to do this to my dad a lot, I would just be all up in his face, right?
Mm.
I would pull his beard. And he's not like an older guy, right? I'm just all over the place. Like, hey, can you make me coffee? I'm all over the place. So I always imagine the moment I leave out of his home, he's like, oh,
Breathing a sigh of relief that you're gone.
silence. This
Well,
crazy person is gone out of my space.
I'll tell you that the part where it says I've been thinking and the twiddling of the thumbs. Whenever we're in the car, we're driving somewhere, my husband's driving, and I start twiddling my thumbs. That's when he knows I'm about to say something, because then I'll start with I've been thinking. So he's like, it got to a point where he's like, okay, I see those thumbs twiddling. What are you thinking about? So that's how that got into this poem. But it started
I
with
love
my
that.
son
It is
saying, you guys ruined silence. It's like they were there quietly doing their own thing, and we came in and started talking and yappy, 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 and all of that. But it's
oh, I love it. I
Yeah.
really, really do. I just thought about all the, funny relationships I have with people, and the fact that I really always zooming it into people's atmospheres like a ball of fire, like just setting everything on fire, and then I leave, not thinking, how did they put it out? I
They
don't
probably
know.
needed that. They probably
I
needed
don't
that.
care. I'm out.
Yeah.
So thank you for writing that. That just made me, And then I also thought, wow, EJOD really is saying the truth when she says she just observes life. It's like the weirdest, simplest of things. You're not really even trying to be, as they say, deep or woke. You're just saying this happens.
Yeah.
Life.
Yeah.
Going to Walmart or wherever else you're going. And because I said Walmart, can you guys sponsor us? Please? I know y'all are not African.
Well, they say ask, right?
Yes, so we're asking. So let's do the very last one, and then we can sign off very sadly, because I could do this for 3 hours if you allow us to.
Okay.
And this is like a culmination of everything. So EJOD writes for 139 pages. And on the 140th page, she writes, and so she wrote, which answers the question in the beginning, why did you write this poem? It's like, you know what? All these things happen in life, okay? All these things. And so I wrote it. That's how I saw it.
That's simple.
Wow. So I want you to read that part for me, please.
Okay. And so she wrote. The words came to her, exalting her to action. Put us down, they whispered. Do it now, they insisted, or we will find another, a willing scribe. She contemplated the alternatives before her and could not bear to see them leave her for another. And so she wrote.
Ay, ay, ay. And so I think I want you to say that part again, and please do the head bob for us.
I did a head bob. Did I do it?
No, I want you to do it.
You want me to do it?
Yes. I want you to read it and then do that part.
read the whole thing again?
No, just that part where it says, and so she wrote.
And so she wrote.
Yeah. And so she wrote. Listen, guys, this is what I want you all to do for me. If there is anything inside of you that is shut in, a poem, a play, a song, anything, a dress you're supposed to make, and so go make it.
Yeah.
And so go write it. And so go sing it. And so go dance it if you're a singer or a dancer, whatever it is that is shut up inside you that you have not had the courage to do it or the wherewithal to do it. Get your head out of the sand like the ostrich and go do. I'm bobbing my head at you right now. And Jane just proved if you put your mind to it, you can. And so write, and so dance, and so sing, and so do. Okay, and so walk or strut or cut walk, and so just and so do.
Go do it.
And maybe that's the next book. Instead of and so write, we're gonna write a book or a poetry about purpose and say and so do.
We're gonna make a rap song and you're going to rap it.
Yeah. Oh, my producer said in one of the comments, I'm not a rapper, and so I shouldn't do this with my hands. Apparently, it doesn't work with my persona, but I would do it if you asked me to. This has been so much fun. I've thoroughly enjoyed this book, and I want everybody to just go and get this book. Please, just find it on Amazon. And listen, you have to find EJ. Don't type in Jane, because I did that. I typed in Jane Offori-Deku. Nothing came up. And so I reached out to producer Elsie, like, I can't find her. Is she sure she's on Amazon? All that stuff, right? And then she calmly, like she always does, this producer, she says, did you type in, it's EJ? Oh, and I was like, oh, okay, EJ. And there it is, EJ Offori-Deku. And the Ofori is double F.
Yes.
As in Frank. And you cannot miss it. And it's an incredible book. It will garner a lot of conversation between you and your loved ones. Shoot, indeed, if you have enemies, I don't have any, but if you do, you can talk with them too about some of the things in here. You will have fun. And I know for those of you in Ghana, Book Nook will do you good. Go on Book Nook, and you cannot miss it. They ship everywhere in Ghana, and indeed they actually do ship around the world too. You just have to reach out to them. And
may I say something really quickly?
Yes. Oh, I was definitely gonna let you say something. So yeah.
Oh, okay. So no, I'll carry on then.
No, I'm done.
Okay. I just wanted to say thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk with you, to have this conversation. I just enjoy the perspectives that you brought to everything. Made me think. My goal is to make other people think, but I love it when conversations make me think as well about my work. And thank you so much. Appreciate your work, and I wish you all the best. So thank you very much for having me on.
You are so amazing. And so, you know, Madam Producer has a question that I don't know if I should ask you this, but Producer has a question, and let's see. And honestly, I just missed it because the comments keep flying. I saw it and then I don't see it anymore. Okay, I think I see it now. Madam Producer says, and I think, Madam Producer, we're going to, I think she's going to be doing something about, and so she did, or and so I'm going to commission it or something like that. But she also says, Offori-Deku Jane needs to come back, and I think you should.
I'm happy to come back.
We're planning to have an alumni or alumni, depending on where in the world you come from, you can say it anyway, of just the authors come together and do a roundtable thing. And also a couple of storytellers come together and do something. So you're definitely going to be on the bill for that. It's going to be an amazing one. And that one, we have to gear ourselves up. It won't be a 2 hour, an hour and a half thing, because authors talk, right? And I talk, so you know what that means. So
I'll be happy to come back.
Thank you so much. And that answers the question for Madam Producer. Doris says, wow, this is a life-changing experience with you today, and
Oh,
I'm gonna fulfill destiny.
wow.
See, we love when that happens because
Yeah.
you wrote, now she will go and do. Doris,
Yeah.
go do. That's what we're talking about. Go
Wonderful.
do. Let me see if we can take the last couple of, it says, thank you, EJOD. Yes, now see, Jane is my girl. The way she puts it, EJOD. Thoroughly enjoyed discussion. I think readings
Mhm.
XX, love, love, love. Yes. EKD Dickinson says, a wonderful show. Good job, sweetie. Oh, I love when love shows up on the show. Thank you, Ms. Baraka. Thank you too, sir, for loaning us your wife for the morning. God bless you. Thank you for joining us. There's just so many comments. I don't even know how to. How can we get this book for those who are in French country?
Oh.
That's a great question for you.
It will be on Amazon in Europe as well, so you could go that way. If you want to reach out directly to me, my email address is
Let's put
also
it there right
on the
now.
ticker.
There
So
we go.
yeah.
And so Jane wrote, yes. And
Yes.
the email is
EJ.
ejofforideku@gmail.com.
Yes.
Yes, and you will definitely get your book for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see, interesting show. Thank you so much, Irene Che. God bless you. Thank you for joining us. Yay! Thanks, Offori-Deku. Jane, you are incredible. And now I see
Thank
why.
you.
As I talk to you, I always imagine my big sister and producer Elsie, because you both have that spirit of just bubbliness and full of life. So
Thank you. Thank
anyway,
you.
we are gonna attempt to unhook. We are an hour and 26 minutes in, and we
Wow.
still have our on it. I think in all of this, the most important people are our audience who stick with us for
Yeah.
an hour and 30, and the numbers do not really dwindle. They're here for it all. I
Very
appreciate
appreciative.
each and every one of you. Listen, next week, invite your friends, invite your enemies, those that don't like you, those that like you, invite all of them, especially those who think Africa has nothing to offer. Send them a link of this page and say, come see incredible Africans telling their own stories. We are the bum diggity in Africa. We got this. Okay, I want you to do that for me. Talk to your friends and your family about To My Younger Self. And indeed, if you have a powerful story to share, anything at all, we don't discriminate. Our only caveat is, are you African? Then you've got a story. We want to hear it. That's all it is. Reach out to us on To My Younger Self 7777. That's 47 at gmail.com. Of course, if you want to support us in any way at all, because we are a viewer supported program, please do so. We will appreciate you so much. Just join the movement. You can send us a cash app, because well, we live in a technology world now. It's hashtag TMYS7. That's the To My Younger Self cash app channel. And as you can see, I love the number 7. It must be a biblical thing. I don't know. And again, today being the end of the month, I want to say a very big thank you to Margie Marge and her team, incredible people at Humanity Chats, and also to the Young Shimmigrant book series for supporting us the entire month of April. We are so grateful for it. Guys, again, find the Young Shimmigrant book series. If you have younger kids, this is a book that you cannot miss. It will teach them about growing up in Africa. It will teach them about, if you migrated in your younger ages and you came to America, all the things that you might run into and all the experiences you might have. This book is incredible, and it actually transitions into older characters. The young shimmigrant, the shimmigrant, and of course, Same Elephant. All these books and series, you cannot miss it. Find her on Book Nook, of course, and also on Amazon and everywhere books are sold. Really, this is what we're talking about: incredible Africans doing incredible things. Next week, we're going to have Minstrel Akosia Pokwa. Let me tell you, Africans, we write, we sing. If someone tells you all we do is swing on trees, they bold face are lying. I mean, I swung on trees, but just because I wanted to, not because I had to, okay? We sing, we dance, we tell stories, we are doctors, we're lawyers, we are comedians. We've got it all on that continent, no joke. So next week, Minstrel Akosia Pokua is going to be here. She's going to share some stories, and hopefully we're in luck and she can share some acapellas with us. You do not want to miss her. You really, really do not. So we'll see you again next week at 7:30 a.m. as always on Tuesday. Jane, as always, we give our guests the last say. So what would you like our audience to take with them today?
What I'd like our audience to take with them is, and because your show is called To My Younger Self, I want to just address that. And I thought, if I had that question posed to me, what would I say to my younger self? I would be like, okay, which younger self? So the younger self that I would like to address is myself in my early 20s. And I would like to say to the audience, if you're younger now, great. You've still got time. We all still have time. But in my 20s, there was a lot of not being sure of what I was doing, hesitation. I would just say, be bold. Life is short. Do the things. Be bold. At the very worst, you'll fail. But if you didn't try, you've already failed. So try the things, and go for it, really. So that's what I would like to share with the audience. If you're still in your 20s, starting out with life, be bold. There's time to recover. And that's about it.
Thank you so
very
much.
much.
Wow. Thank you so much, EJOD. You have been an incredible guest. And as always, we are so grateful to each and every one of you. We'll see you next week from EJOD and myself at the To My Younger Self Studios. And this is really also backed by Red Sea Studios from out of New Jersey. We want to say thank you. We want to say goodbye. Have a wonderful day. Like our producer will say, have a good day on purpose. And may you catch God winking at you. We will see you next week. Peace.
From Moko School, my bye.